When Jezebel heard that Richard died, she mourned Richard as her first love and her best friend, because at a particular time their relationship was good before Richard decided to become irresponsible. Jezebel cried. Her husband tried to console her, and he always told her to take heart. But she refused, because she knew that Richard would not have died wretchedly in that manner if he had listened to her, instead of calling her a nag, a rude and troublesome girlfriend. So it really got to Jezebel, and it changed the way how she saw life. All of a sudden, Jezebel started acting strange and bitter. Her happy home turned into something else. She started drinking. She started smoking. She started acting awkwardly. And that made her husband to be very sad. One day, some of her friends came to visit her, and they were so concerned about what is happening in her life. They tried to advise her, but she refused to listen. They told her she's at the verge of losing her husband, her marriage, but Jezebel refused to listen. She started going out to club. She would abandon her twins, children crying, hungry. Her mind started getting bitter towards her husband, that all men are bad and they should end up like Richard. The husband that did not do her any evil, but made her to feel happy, took shame away from her eyes. She turned into something else. One day, on her way home, she mistakenly had an accident. She hit a man. Instead of apologizing, Jezebel slapped him. Forgetting that she is a woman and a man's power can overshadow her, the man beat her up mercilessly and she ended up in coma. Her husband and her family rushed her to the hospital to check and see how she's faring. But she already lost one of her eyes and one of her leg, which was a very sad one for her. One of her friends that visited said, sometimes, no matter how kind you are, your name follows you. And a friend gave her an advice that she should change her name from Jezebel to Pleasant. Jezebel is a horrible name for her to be bearing. And that is the reflection of the name that is happening to her right now. That she has been a sweet and pleasant person all these years. But just because she lost somebody, the Jezebel in her came out. And she's fighting people, misbehaving, causing confusion. She should change her name. Instantly, in the hospital, she agreed to change her name. She told her husband to call pastors for a renaming. So they did another naming ceremony for Jezebel that had two twins. They changed her name from that day, from Jezebel to Pleasant. So ugly things like a Jezebel will not continue in her life, but beautiful and pleasant things will be happening to her.
The end. Morale lesson of story. If you are in a bad relationship, it will turn you into a bitter person over time. Also check and know the meaning of your name. It may be the result of one of your challenges.